an interesting logical fallacy maybe that clinic owners have is they'll look at the cost of SMS and they'll go, oh, I don't want to run an SMS campaign. And I used to do this too. But then we'll go on Google and we'll spend $5 to $10 per click, but we won't send out a 25-cent SMS in bulk. So we might be going, oh, we're spending $400 here, but we have to understand, what's the return on investment from these different things. So if you're watching this and you're hesitant to send out text messages because there's a cost associated with it, think about it in relative terms to the cost associated with getting a new client through Google or Facebook.
Yes. Yeah. So a reactivated client, someone who's already been to the clinic before. I know some people call it new issue or new episode of care. There's different terminology there. By the way, you can track that on Allie if you're connected with the Clinico platform. So a reactivated client, so you want to determine the number of new clients in the month or reactivated clients that are going to come in from any given campaign. Okay. And then what do you do from there?
So once we've got that, then we need to go, all right, so what's the difference here? How many new clients do we need that haven't been to the clinic before that we're going to need to get through paid advertising methods? And how many of those are we aiming to get from referral partners and different sorts of things? But let's say for argument's sake, we want 20 more new clients. 5 of them we expect to come from reactivations, from campaigns we're going to run, which means there's a 15 client deficit that we have at the moment. Now, depending on the number of clients and what that means, so we might say that we're happy to spend $100 to get each of these clients. And I go, all right, it's going to be $1,500 is what we need to spend once we figure out what works for you in the marketing area here. And so for a lot of clinics, they may not start with that 1,500 because they may go, well, we want to make sure that we get it right first. And I'd say for the majority of clinics, it's better to do it that way. Find what works at a reasonable budget and then scale that. And for a lot of clinics, if you think of it like this, if you're spending $200 a week, it's going to be hard to get enough data to understand what's working, what's not working. But you also don't want to jump in and start spending $5,000 a month because that may be out of your budget if you're not effective in doing so. So we need to find something relative to your clinic size that is going to work relative to your current financial position, to the type of clients we're looking to bring in. So it really does depend on a lot of different factors here. But typically the best advice I'd have is what works in small things is going to work in large things to a certain extent. It's not always a straight line, which would be nice, but
do you mean specifically campaigns? There as an example, like a small campaign here on Facebook is also going to work as a big campaign on Facebook, just to elaborate a little bit more on how it scales up.
Yeah, so Facebook's a little bit more challenging like that. But if we talk Google scales up a lot easier than Facebook does, where you can scale that budget up. And so it's going, let's find what works here and then scale that. Because this is maybe a bit of a challenge for some clinic owners, is that the type of clients that they want to get through their marketing, sometimes it's hard to get those clients in. Often, the question you want to ask as a clinic owner are who are the lowest hanging fruit? Who are going to be the easiest clients to get in? And then let's get them in through the easiest means to do so. So I've been working with a clinic recently, and they want to get more EP clients. But in their area, we can see that it's hard to get EP clients. There's low search volume. There's still just maybe not enough public awareness of exercise physiology. And so what we did instead is we focused on getting in clients for physiotherapy and massage because we know we're better at doing that. They're lower hanging fruit. And then we worked with the physios and the massage therapists to help to refer them through to EP. And then we also created some campaigns, some reactivation campaigns to help to drive them towards the exercise physiology service as well. And what we found is that we can get them into EP at a higher volume and a much cheaper rate when we focus on getting them in for physio or massage. And so sometimes we have to sort of do some mental gymnastics here to think what is going to be the best way to actually achieve the goal that we want to achieve. And sometimes it's by taking a little bit of a detour.
I like that. So to start off with, you're looking at, in terms of setting a budget, understanding the lifetime value of your client, and then determining based on the stage of business you're in. You said either you're in high growth or maybe consolidating, determining a budget, an
Yeah.
allocation of that lifetime value that you want to put towards acquiring new clients. And then I like that distinction. I don't see a lot of clinic owners do it, so I just want to capture it. What you're saying is once you've determined the amount of new clients you want in a month, you want to figure out, well, where are they going to come from in an ideal world? What do we
Mm.
expect? We expect, 5 of the 20 to come from a reactivation campaign, emails and SMSs. And then perhaps the other 15 are going to come through digital marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, as an example. And so you've got this, very simplistic but thoughtful, purposeful plan to start with. Have I missed anything there just to kind of catch everyone up to where we're at in defining your marketing plan?
Yeah, that makes sense so far.
So you've got those allocations set
Hmm.
up, Facebook, Google, reactivation. Now, what do? You mentioned about testing different things. How do you go about doing that without just throwing money into the wind?
I guess understanding of the market. And if you were to look at your own client base, this could be, the best way to do it to start with. If you look at your own client base and go, what do we see the most of here? What problems do people come in for, and what are they really aware of? And what's the language that they use when they come in? So those are some key things to be thinking about, because you may say, I want this weird and wacky condition because it's great. My therapists love it. But if people aren't aware of that as a problem, or they're not willing to spend a lot of money to solve that problem, it may be a very, very hard thing to get in. And so the physio example may be that low back pain or sciatica is a keyword that does really, really well when we're looking at Google ads, or disc bulge, things like that. When someone has pain in their back and they feel some symptoms down the leg, sciatica, they Google. If they've got pain in their back, disc bulge. So those are some of the key things that we may look at there. Now, it may not be your ideal client, but this person may have other challenges that come with it. They may have other family, friends, etc. So essentially, you're broadening the network that you have there by looking for the lowest hanging fruit. So rather than trying to jump over the biggest obstacle, try and find the smallest obstacle to jump over that still fits in with ideal clients that you have.